inhibition of muscle activity because of that pain and that insult to the shoulder. So first of all, I'm not doing that. First of all, education. What do you think, from what we have talked about already in the mechanism of injury, rates of dislocation, what do you think are the important things that we need to educate on the first appointment or appointments with these people?
The duration.
The duration of the recovery, yes. Yeah. So that it's going to take a little while for the acute injury to settle down, so that they will feel better within about 2 weeks. It does recover quite nicely, and they can be managed in the acute phases in a sling for comfort. We want them out of the sling sometimes, but essentially we're looking to have a repairing soft tissue structure anteriorly. So having them in the sling supported for 1 to 2 weeks tends to be the optimal time to be in the sling. After that, there doesn't seem to be any more further benefit of them staying in the sling to facilitate a stronger repair. So 1 to 2 weeks tends to be maximum, and often when they're inpatient, they're feeling a lot better after about a week and they'll just take the sling off. So they're often instructed in the hospital just to wear it till you feel comfortable.
They're still for that lesion?
Yes,
okay,
yeah. So in this instance, let's sort of try and think about that clinical scenario of anterior dislocation, anterior labral injury, and soft tissue, obviously. So comfort, but from a healing perspective, 1 to 2 weeks in the sling for comfort. What else might we like to educate them about?
What they can and can't do?
Yeah, what they can and can't do. Now, initially, that will be dictated by what feels comfortable. But if you teach them about positions of instability, so when you come out into this position, it's going to feel less comfortable, but also from a structural point of view, it's less stable. That's nice. But also, focus on what they can do. So remembering their rotator cuff, the muscles around their shoulder have not had an injury. They're pain inhibited. They may have some neuropraxia, so their deltoid might be a little bit inhibited or weak at the moment. But that's transient, it'll change. We want to encourage early activation. So it is not that you need to completely protect the shoulder. We want to keep the shoulder engaged, because that is going to be the muscular support around the shoulder to give the joint protection. And if you get weaker in your muscles, then you're taking away the protection from the shoulder. So we know that the joint surfaces have been compromised, the soft tissue is compromised, but the muscle over the top is not. So that's the bit that's going to hold your shoulder together. So keep those muscles active, and we'll talk about exercise that you can do for that. So avoiding laying on the shoulder in the early stages. It can be uncomfortable, compressive. It can move the shoulder in the humeral head in an anterior position. So just teaching them about positions of comfort and also not aggravating the shoulder by laying on it. Also, if they do have the loss of sensation, educating them that this is a transient compression of the nerve. It will come back. We will monitor it. It's not something that you have to be overly concerned about. Load management. So in the early stages, their load is obviously going to be 0. As far as their shoulder or their sport where they injured their shoulder. But you're going to gradually increase their load. And again, we're looking for safe involvement and bringing them back into sport or fitness activities that don't challenge the shoulder in the early stages, but keep up their fitness and keep up their general ability to progress back into their sport without having to rehabilitate everything else in their body as well. You don't want someone to have a shoulder injury and then end up with hamstring strain because their hamstrings have become so weak while they've been waiting to come back to sport for their shoulder. So giving them education around that process, but also starting those early exercise and fitness so that they don't lose anything while they're waiting for the shoulder to catch up. We're going to go through tape now, but we're going to go through a couple of ways that you can tape your shoulder. But essentially in the early stages we go for a higher, more stable tape to give it protection and hold. And then we can move into something that's a little bit more dynamic for feedback as we get back into smaller activity. So let's go and work into your taping. We can come down here.